Hi, everyone. Welcome to the weekly RV report. We're back again for the week of April 11th, 2025. Thanks for being patient waiting for us in the first week of the month on hiatus. We wanted to see more details materialize from the trade tariffs and the day of liberation. And now that the proverbial dust is settled, we can give you a much more acute and finite point of view on all the details. So if you're new to the channel, please do like, subscribe, and share so the channel can grow and others can gain in the knowledge you're being afforded. As always, I'm not a financial advisor, nor does this constitute financial advice. It's merely high quality information to be shared with you in order for you to use for your own internal discernment. As for the nation of Iraq, as you'll note on our Telegram channel and on various podcasts we did with David Mahoney and Joe Williams, a U.S. assembly of over 101 delegates was sent to Monday, April 7th, in order to sign a brand new series of documents as well as memorandums of understanding with Iraqi officials. There were internet delays with the online Iraqi Gazette publication since March 15th, which has conveniently just been resolved. Due to no small part to the Ramadan and Eid holiday that completed last month, now the website is back online. As such, the Iraqi cabinet has dismantled the Ministry of Oil and published in the Gazette the cabinet resolution number 23426 and published it in said Iraqi Gazette as of Monday, April 7th. Again, you can find the exact articles and all the particulars on our Telegram channel, which we'll have as a link in our description and below in this video. Iraq is also one of 75 countries listed on the 90-day tariff pause by President Trump, with a 39% tariff that was levied against them last week. This is no surprise. An emergency delegation was sent to Iraq behind the scenes to go and rework new documents in order for them to come back onto the international stage. One of the agreements includes debit and credit cards inside of Iraq to be issued to citizens that works both nationally as well as internationally. And you cannot do that without having a true international rate that must be published and announced. What was being hidden subversively is now being brought into the light once again, and the corruption on all fronts is being summarily removed. As for the nation of Vietnam, you're all well aware Vietnam has been massively in the spotlight this past week in terms of being the subject of currency manipulation, trade imbalance mentioned several times by President Trump, and they were one of the first countries as well to capitulate and concede on reciprocal tariffs that are now meeting. They're now meeting with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent as we speak. Now, even though President Trump has implemented a 90-day pause on trade tariffs, do not expect this to take anywhere near that long. The fact that 75 countries have all been housed within the BRICS have expressed sincere interest to come to the table with agreements, specifically Vietnam right now, that should be a clear and present sign that these agreements will happen rather quickly. China is being isolated with over 145% in tariffs, as they have to pay back the U.S. at least $10 trillion in debt owed to us through land, bonds, stocks, and many other financial instruments. All necessary optical distractions for the people to see while the reset is being processed behind the scenes. The nation of Zimbabwe, Nelson Chamisa, has consistently and fervently posted on X, continuing the refrain of injustice, that God's people indeed need to be set free, and that justice to the land of Zimbabwe is indeed coming. Furthermore, an article that we posted both on Telegram and has been prominently featured on the David Mahoney podcast this week, Nelson Chamisa was spotted with H.E. Ernest by Koroma. He is the former president of the Sierra Leone, which is abundantly rich in resources, so much so that the people are pulling gold nuggets out of the ground that are literally the size of their fists. Speaking of precious metals and crude oil, as of the time of this broadcast, crude oil is trading now at this point. Gold is at $3,188.60, silver at $31.09, and again, the aforementioned crude oil, specifically known as WTI, has dropped down to $59.60. Gold is flooding into the bonds and currencies as well as cryptos and silver, which can no longer be controlled or contained by the banks, as they can no longer paper down the shorts, as investors both in the retail as well as the financial, institutional, and the whales are now calling in the margins to take physical delivery. Lastly, with respect to cryptos, while we await the official announcement of Paul Atkins as the SEC chair to ensue, this will cause the official case against XRP from the standpoint of the SEC to be dismissed. Ripple announced earlier this week that it has acquired Hidden Road for $1.25 billion, which becomes ostensibly the first crypto company to own and operate a global multi-asset prime broker. Together, Ripple and Hidden Road are forming a coalition in order to bring the promise of transparency and prosperity front and center. A recently leaked memo indicated that the U.S. government is exploring issuing U.S. funds for humanitarian projects on the blockchain with its customizable deployment options, near instant bulk payments, and full auditability. Stellar XLM, which, as you know, is backed by Silver, presents itself as the most viable blockchain solution. Bottom line, XLM will be what funds your humanitarian kingdom projects that many of you have both shown as interest and concerns with respect to exchanging on said currencies in the banks. So this concludes the update of this week's RV report. As breaking news comes out, we will let you know summarily. Thanks for watching. Take care. God bless. Goodbye for now.